Welcome back. I'm joined today by three experts to discuss the issues of the day that are of interest to me. My first guest is a KGB agent who only recently learned that the Cold War is over. Please welcome Agent Abramov.
Hello, Brian.
Hello, Agent. How are you?
It's really over.
It is over. It's been over for a bit.
Let's get McDonald's.
Okay, you may.
Enjoy Springsteen together.
Sure. So what have you been doing all this time?
Well, I've been in Montana. I've been stationed in Montana.
You were stationed in Montana?
Yes, I was just supposed to keep an eye on things up there.
Like what? Like a lot of...
Exactly, Brian. That's what I was going to say. You know, what
moose.
is up there?
Another moose.
Yeah, I started thinking maybe moose spies, so I would poison them.
Okay. My next guest comes to us from Georgia, the Peach State, and is full of her own unique style of charm. Please welcome Jezebel McAllister, a condescending Southern mom. Hello.
Hey!
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Are you tired?
No. Do I look tired?
You just look a little sick.
Really?
I mean, I just want to make sure you're all right,
I feel
Brian.
good. I got a decent 6.5 hours.
Oh, bless your heart.
So, sorry if I look like I'm under the weather.
I'm sorry, too.
Okay. My last guest is the latest voice in the loud chorus of opposition against Obamacare. Please welcome a witch doctor. Oh, channeling something.
Oh, hello, Brian. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? I did not expect to hear your voice like that.
Oh, I don't understand what that's supposed to mean, but I was just coming out of a treatment with someone who's in Peru. I was channeling myself over there.
You were treating someone in Peru.
My goodness.
What is that?
It's my medical assistant.
Your medical assistant.
Yes, his name is Kundala.
Kundala. Now,
Kundala, yeah. He works the front desk.
He looks like an African tribal mask.
Yeah, well, we picked him up in Nairobi. We met each other, and we just connected so well. I said, you know what, I have a job, an opening for you in my office in the Upper West Side, so why don't you come on down and we'll work something out.
Your office is in the Upper West Side of Manhattan.
Yeah, it's on 83rd and Broadway, but I'll tell you, this Obamacare is choking us.
No, how?
We accept 3 types of health plans. We accept turtle deductibles.
Turtle deductible?
Yeah, you bring a turtle in and you leave the turtle, and if the turtle leaves the building, on its own, you get your deductible back. But if it doesn't, we keep it, and then we make soup out of it.
Sure.
And a variety of other things. I'm sure we'll talk about it in the next segment, Brian.
I think we will. Let's talk about books, because there's a book coming out. I don't know if anybody's heard. It's called The United States versus Santa Claus.
No.
It's the actual untold story of the war on Christmas. And it's coming out, and I don't know if we've mentioned it at all on the show. I just want to make sure we get a mention in for it. So let me ask you this, Agent Abramov. What is a book that you really wanted to read but you never got around to reading?
Well, it's so nice that I don't have to kill you for having book that is unapproved by the Kremlin.
Right.
I believe I would love to read Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Okay.
It's a Judy Blume.
Sure, Judy Blume.
Book.
That's so.
Yes, I
Cold War's
identify
over.
with this cry as one alone, because for so long I was left out in the dark about,
So Judy Blume was censored in Soviet Russia.
Yes, she is spy.
Judy Blume is a spy.
Obvious spy, Brian.
Obvious.
You don't have the trained eye. Judy Blume, big time spy.
Really not. She's not just a young adult author. She's
Indoctrinating your children
with books
capitalism
and puberty.
Religion.
Interesting. Jezebel, what is a book that you have always wanted to read but never quite got around to reading?
That's a great question, Brian. I think it's so cute that y'all have time to think about reading secular books. It's a real special thing that y'all have a little bit of, some free time in your lives to do something cute like that.
Cute.
I personally, I am only reading one book, and that book is the truth. It's the light. It's the way. That would be The Divine Secrets of the Yah Sisterhood. And I don't see any reason, for example, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I agree with our foreign friend here that is indoctrinating our children, mainly about the fact that women should be discussing anything that has to do with their bodies.
Interesting.
Which just, let's just not, can we?
Dr. Ween?
Who has time to read, Brian? Because, between dealing with trying to register with this website, which is, which normally we do websites, we have giant spiders. And
You have giant spiders.
we have giant spiders in the office, and they weave a webbed area, which we call the website. And
Oh.
we had our own exchanges on that website.
Okay.
And-
What was a typical exchange like on your website?
Well, you'd have two patients stuck on the web, and
Sure.
they'd have a conversation. That was the exchange. They'd be like, "Oh, I'm stuck on this web. I know. Tell me about it. I've been waiting for 4 hours to go see the witch doctor." And he said, "Well, yeah, just relax. You're on the web. What are you concerned about? Go cruise the web." And then they would shuffle around the web until, maybe it would break or they'd fall off. But now it's like I have to deal with this. I have to. I don't know how many people you've put on Cobra. Have you ever dealt with Cobra in your entire life?
I was on a Cobra plan.
You were? I can't
Sure.
believe you're still alive.
Why? It
Well,
just
because
like
they're venomous.
it was an
I mean, a
18
real cobra. You have to put a spirit in the cobra, so that when it bites you, the venom injects the spirit into another person. Hopefully you put it in an animal, but sometimes you have to do another person.
Okay, we're talking about different Cobras because mine was just an 18-month extension of my healthcare.
Oh, I don't understand that. I'm going to need hair and fingernails from everybody by the end so that
All
I
right,
can make
let's do
dolls
that.
of you.
Let's do that during the break. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Why would you want to move on to the commercial,
No
Brian?
reason. No reason.
Brian, we are having fruitful discussion.
All right, quickly before we go, the Redskins are getting a lot of flack for their team name. It doesn't seem to be subsiding. If they were forced to change their name from the Washington Redskins, what would you name it, Agent Abramov?
I believe the Washington Spies.
The Washington, everything spies with you. Spies.
Well, everyone is spy here in America.
The Washington Spies.
Especially all these super soldiers that you build up in your football leagues.
Football players.
Yes, the super soldiers.
You think they're
Brian.
intelligence agents?
Of course, Brian.
That's
Why
ironic.
put that much missile onto a man?
Interesting. Well, maybe so they can knock over the other man and get the ball to the other side of the field.
Yes, I know what you're really saying. So they can overthrow
No, get a touchdown.
Mother Russia.
Mother Russia.
Mother Russia.
Mother Russia.
What am I saying?
Mother Russia.
We're saying the same thing.
Jezebel,
Yes.
if you were forced to rename the Washington Redskins, what would you go with?
Well, I think it's, first of all, it's sweet that they really try so hard to play football out on that field. If they're not part of the SEC, and I get that they're just trying to scrape by and put something together for people. It's real sweet. But I do think they should change that name. It doesn't really represent what they're about. And if I had to change that name, really I would change any team north of the Mason-Dixon line to Northern Aggression.
Northern Aggression.
Yeah, the Washington Northern Aggression.
The Washington Northern, so that the name of the Civil War, the War of Northern Aggression.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
It's factually accurate,
Is it?
Brian.
Okay, well, I lived in Georgia a little while, so
Okay.
I got a
Oh,
taste.
good for you.
Yeah.
Where about?
Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah,
In Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh.
Good for you, honey.
Okay, well, have him lick the toad 3 times in the morning. That's what I told him. It's on the side of the toad. It's printed on it. Well, I don't care what he says. Well, if he doesn't do it right, then that wood spirit's never going to leave him, okay? And by the way, would you please look at me from now on when we're having conversations? I understand Brian's interesting, but you can't inhabit him. Bye.
Wow. Okay, so you're having a chat with.
I'm having a special conversation with a patient who has a wood nymph stuck in him, and he has to lick a toad in order to get rid of it.
Now, is that covered under Obamacare?
No, not now. Now it's a deductible.
No
It's
kidding.
unbelievable. And half the time I'm paying out of pocket as a doctor for it, and I have to create this whole new filing system. What am I supposed to do? I've been organizing everything with twigs and leaves for I don't know how many
And
years.
suddenly, oh, it's technology.
Point and click.
Right.
When I bought the computer, I took a real mouse and I jammed it into a wire, and they just kept dying.
No kidding.
Yeah, I don't understand things. I'm a jungle person.
Let me ask you this.
Right.
The Washington Redskins.
Shoot.
If you had to rename the team, what would you name them?
Ooh. I think that since they are a DC-based team, I would maybe call them the Washington Failures.
Ooh.
Because they can't run a website.
You think they'd go for that?
I hope they would. I mean, God knows. You know what? Let me tell you something. First off, there's nothing offensive about Redskin. But no one cares about me. I've got a big white face. Oh, yeah.
I learned to value
Hey there, Skullface. Get out of the convenience store, Skullface. I'm sorry. You're shopping at Macy's, Skullface? I have to look in your bags.
So Washington Skullface, would that be offensive to you?
How dare you? I'm suing you.
All right, that's all the time we have for this week's BS of A. I'm your host, Brian Sack. Join us next week for a brand new episode. Like us on Facebook, love us on Twitter, share our videos on YouTube, and tell your friends to buy The United States versus Santa Claus by Brian Sack and Jack Helmuth on Amazon.com. And remember, if you like your plan, you can keep it. Good night, America.
Oh, you can't keep it though,
No,
Brian.
you can't.
You can't. They lied.
They did
You
lie.
lied
It
about
was
it.
the most scared I
You
did.
all right?
Why?
I need a mint julep, y'all. Jeez.
That would be nice. I would try that.
That would be nice.
The mint julep is that's very good for
Mint?
constipation.